channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today I'm going to show you how to get this classic New Year's Eve holiday easy go-to makeup look. I love how when I'm sitting here doing my intro, the description is like so much longer than what it needs to be, but that's how we roll on this channel. I ramble a lot, so if you're new, I hope you're buckled in and ready for a chatty video. So today, again, the main focus for me is always on the eyes. I'm gonna show you how to get this. It is so simple, so easy. Any level of makeup, you can do this. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner, if you're an expert. It's something that a lot of people probably have in their kits, so that is why I'm very happy to share this with you. I love more of like, for me, this is like a softer glam for New Year's Eve. I think that if I were to go all out with bold eyeshadow, it'd probably be more so for Christmas than New Year's. So let me know in the comments down below, are you more likely to do a more intense look for like Christmas or whatever holiday parties you're going to, or for New Year's Eve? I just love this. It just screams New Year's to me, and I'm obsessed, and I can't wait to wear it for New Year's Eve. How many times am I gonna say that? Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this tutorial. By the way, I show you how to do the full face, so you're gonna get it all today. Normally I stick to just the eyes, switching it up, broadening horizons, trying out new things. I have like leftover lipsticks. I also show you 2 different lip colors. Let's get started. Woo! Alrighty, let's get into the tutorial. I already have my brows mapped out, and if some of you are sick of me just repeating myself, it's because I have new people, so I want to inform the people. I mapped my brows out. As you can see, I don't really have a lot of brow, just to get an idea of where they're going to go, and I don't fill them in because I do not have the patience to be precise around my brows when it comes to putting complexion products on. So today we are doing a soft, well, not really soft, kind of like a smoky neutral eye. So I'm going to go ahead and just use concealer as a base. I've been using the ColourPop No Filter Concealer because I've been on a low buy this year. You know, first to try to save money in consumerism and all that. And I also don't want to have like 5 concealers in my collection that are just going to go to waste and dry out and expire because they're sitting there. So especially with complexion products, I just try to stick to one thing at a time until I use it up. And then if I want to try something else, I'll try something else. If I like it, I'll stick to it. And I've really been liking this ColourPop concealer. It's definitely full coverage, so I like that. There we go. But it's not as drying as Tape Shape. Tape Shape is like the most coverage in a concealer. It's a little bit more coverage than what I want. I used to be all about it, but for right now, it's just a little bit more than what I like and what I need. I'm trying to work on my complexion game for the new year. Like, definitely want to work on that. So anyways, I think that this ColourPop No Filter Concealer is a really good dupe for Tape Shape if you like it but feel like it's drying. I also have very dry skin, so that wasn't exactly helpful, but Tape Shape, it would accentuate any dry patches I had around my eyes. So I highly suggest checking it out. Even if you want to save a little bit of money, you can find this concealer in Ulta. I love that because I hate buying stuff online without being able to see it in person. Even when it comes to eyeshadows, because sometimes lighting makes it look one way online and then in person it can look completely the other way. So I still wanted to carve my brows out today, just to have that nice definition. And then normally if I'm using a primer or concealer, whatever primer I'm using on my lid, whatever is left over I will take under my eyes because I will smoke out my lower lash line at the same time. So because we're using neutrals today, I am going to set this base. I don't particularly need it to be tacky for working with neutral shadows because typically when you're working with neutral shadows, you're going for like a very blended and smoked out look. So by setting the base, you're kind of putting down that smooth transition already there. So any shadow that you apply will just glide on easily versus if you left this wet, or if I use a tacky base like the P. Louise base or my Anastasia base. Those are a little bit tackier. They don't like dry down completely smooth because they're meant to grip product. They're meant to grip shadow, meant to grip color. So if you're doing like a very intense look, it's best to not set your base. Or if you're doing a very vivid and colorful look, it's best to not set. So that's kind of the difference, because I see questions online, like on Facebook and Twitter, of like, why do some people use a concealer? Why do some people use a primer? Why do some people set? Why don't you set? That's just kind of my explanation and my reasoning behind it. So hopefully that helps you. I'm gonna use, I would say this is probably my top eyeshadow. Is this like a best products in a tutorial video? I don't know. But I would say this is probably my top neutral eyeshadow palette of the entire year. I have 3 neutral palettes that I absolutely love. The original Jaclyn palette, the Kim and Mario, the original Kim and Mario palette, and this one. Those have always been my top 3 over the years. But I think I got the most use out of this palette. So for today, I'm pretty much just gonna be using this shade right here, which is Churro. There's a very similar shade in the KKW and Mario palette that I was just talking about. There's similar shades in the Jaclyn Hill palette, so I'm sure you have something similar at home. I'm just gonna go ahead, go right in with the Morphe M433. And I have been obsessed with having a rounded shape instead of a smoked out, winged out look. So whichever you prefer, because you can easily just flick whatever shadow is left over to make it winged out if you want. And I basically just, I'm barely touching the brush to my eye, and I just basically follow the shape of my eye socket right in the crease. So when you press in, you can kind of see, and that's what you're feeling around for. So I just go in lightly around that area just to get the initial color down. And once I have most of the color laid down, I will go in tiny circular motions, and I will start to feather this upward. I don't necessarily want to bring this all the way up to my brow. Of course, if you want to, you can, but I'm probably not going to extend it further than here. I just want to have a nice fade. A reason why I love this eyeshadow palette is because it is just so easy to work with. There's not a ton of fallout. You just need to do one tap on your brush to get rid of the excess, and that's it. You're not going to have shadow falling all over your face. You're not going to have to dip into the palette like a bunch of times. And the formula of this palette is just so amazing. The shadows are so smooth and buttery. I have Marvelous Mauves, which again, I really like the formula of that, so I think it's safe to say that Dose of Colors has a really nice formulation to their shadows. And I'm just putting this all over the lid. You can see right now areas where it's a little bit patchy. It's showing up more on camera than it is in person. And the reason I'm just using a fluffy brush instead of like a flat brush, you can. To be honest, I'm just lazy. I like using the least amount of brushes as possible. And because I'm blending everything together, so for me, it's just easier to pack it on and then work on blending it out, because I want to have the most defined color on my lid and on that very inner part of the crease where we first laid the color, and just have it all kind of go like shoop. Then you can kind of see I have like a little spot in the very inner corner that's not covered with shadow. So that's where I just pick up a brush like this. This is a Real Techniques detailer brush, and it is the perfect shape to just get right into that inner corner. And this is just about going to be it with the matte shadows. We're gonna run this under the eye in a minute. I'm gonna catch up and be back to continue on. I'm back. And speaking of the KKW and Mario palette, I am gonna dip into this really fast because there is a really nice cream shade. This is kind of like, maybe I just said it's cream. It's like an off-white, because I don't want it to be too like stark and harsh looking. So what I personally like to do is take a smaller blending brush. This is Morphe 506. And I like to blend and fluff it up onto my crease. I kind of wish I used my lighter shade of concealer, but things have been done, and here we are. So I'm mostly using this to kind of lighten up my brow bone And also, if you blend your eyeshadow too high, you can use this almost as like an eraser to bring it back down. You might want to use more of like a true white shadow if that's what you're looking to do. But I just like fluffing it on because it's not as harsh and it just blends nicely into the crease color. Another reason why I like doing my brows last, because I always fluff eyeshadow up into that, whether it's a matte white or a shimmer. So anyways, I like this. I'm taking a clean brush. I like this eye look because it's so fast and easy off camera. It literally took me a minute and a half because I have like my iPad in front of me. I'm always watching YouTube while I'm filming or just getting ready. And I was only able to watch a minute and a half of the video. So this is super fast, super easy. I'm gonna go ahead and start to work on the lower lash line. This is a Morphe E36. I'm taking that same brown color and we're gonna smoke it out. I really like a heavily smoked out lower lash line. That's just me, so you don't have to do it like me. You can do less. It's the beauty of makeup. You can take what I'm teaching you and just apply it your own way. I'm gonna try not to cover, and I just smudge back and forth with this because again, I know with the formulation of the shadow, there's really no fallout. So I can get kind of messy and just kind of basically slap it on. That's what also makes these look super fast and super quick, is that you're not having to be careful with your eyeshadow. Now I'm just taking whatever is left over on the brush and just working the shadow down. And again, you don't have to be precise with this because we're still gonna conceal our under eye. So even if you accidentally smoke it out too much and you're just kind of like, whoa, I took it a little bit too far, you can just cover it up with concealer. So that's, again, the beauty of doing your eyes first. With a look like this, you can easily get away with doing your face first and then your eyes. I'm just so used to doing eyes first. What is a makeup skill that you guys want to improve for 2020? Again, this is a 506, it's clean. I'm just gonna blend. For me, I feel like I'm really comfortable and happy with eyeshadow, so I really want to work on complexion and like focusing on complexion products for 2020 because my skin is pretty damn busted and I've just done the same thing for probably the past year and a half, if not 2 years, and I really want to change it up and start experimenting more instead of just like always going to eyeshadow. The last thing that I'm going to do for this eye look is go into Just a Kiss. This is my favorite eyeshadow color in this palette and probably my favorite eyeshadow color that I own. It's stunning. I love applying it with my finger. I mean, come on, like it's just so beautiful. You hardly need any product and I'm just lightly tapping with my finger. Of course, I'm focusing most of the product on the lid and then whatever is left, I'm slightly creeping up into the crease because I really like bringing the sparkle up just a little bit into the crease. I like being a little bit more messy, more like editorial-esque if you want to label it something, with my eyeshadow. And I just think it looks so pretty having that little bit of glimmer up into the crease. There's like, I feel like for so long, especially in the last decade, it was no shimmer, no sparkle in the crease has to be matte, and I feel like everyone is just starting to get a little bit more experimental with their makeup as we're entering the new decade, and I love that. Breaking the rules, because there's really no like rules when it comes to makeup, right? I will pile on a little bit more towards the end. Now it is time to work on complexion. I'm gonna try my best to walk you guys through this without it being a million minutes long. I feel like I always cut out the complexion part and like honestly the rest of my face because I jibber jabber too much. So let me know in the comments, what is your top makeup product of 2019? And also let me know like what is like the most iconic thing that happened in makeup this year in your opinion. Let me know. So for skin, I already have my primer on. I use my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I've really been enjoying this. I put it on first so it sinks into the skin. For foundation, I really like this Clinique Even Better foundation, and I also recently tried NYX Studio Fix Fluid. I'm not quite, maybe I'm pale enough for this, but I like adding a little bit of this in just for a little bit of warmth. And if you have dry skin, let me know what foundation you've been loving. I feel like every time I run out of foundation, I never repurchase the same one because I'm always like, let me try a different one. Although this Clinique one, I've repurchased about 3 times and I really like it a lot because it just makes your skin look nice and dewy without looking too cakey. And it's really affordable in my opinion. When it comes to foundations, they can get extremely pricey, right? Like Pat McGrath is like $70 for foundation. And as tempted as I am to try that, I don't think I could justify spending that much money on foundation. And this foundation, this Clinique one, is only $39. So it's really affordable. They actually have a shade light enough for my pale ass. So I like that. I got mine at Ulta. I don't really shop at Sephora that much, but I really like the coverage. It doesn't feel like you're wearing a lot of makeup. You still have a nice glow and sheen under your skin. I'm gonna go back into my ColourPop concealer. I do have 2 shades. This is Fair 08 and Light 12 because when I bought this, I was definitely more, like this was a brightening shade for me under my eye in the summer. And I like to put this one down first. It's a little bit darker, kind of like as correcting. And because I'm not super into that really bright highlighted look anymore. And I'm just going to take a little bit of concealer, the lighter one, and dab it. That was an Amazon guy. He like walked by my front window, stared at me. Fun. Okay, so setting powder, I keep it in this e.l.f. component, but this is the RCMA No Color Translucent Powder. And for this, I am just focusing it right to here. And if you get, again, sloppy with your eyeshadow, you can also kind of shape and erase with concealer. For me, it's definitely more so about getting that extra coverage around that redness. I also like to immediately set with the brush. My skin is so dry. I will also take this brush and get most of the powder off and very lightly set my nose. Foundation tends to break up on my nose no matter what I do, especially when my skin is super, super dry. I am just going to quickly set the rest on my face. All right, if you are on the dry side like I am, you can look a little crusty and caked after you set. So to kind of help set that in this place and bring a little bit of life back in, I'm going with my Urban Decay All Nighter. And I prefer putting this on now versus once I have the rest of my complexion products on because I really want my foundation to stay in place and stay set. So I also go in with the sponge and tap it in because like I don't know if you can see in some places the sprayer, it kind of camel spits a little bit just like the MAC one does. The Morphe one has like the best sprayer, but I don't find that it helps with the longevity of my makeup. I find like that just helps to rehydrate me. While that is settling in, I'm just going to go back in with this blending brush, make sure I don't have like any setting powder or anything still there. And then if I need to correct the shape of my shadow from applying foundation, I can easily go in and do that. So I just kind of give everything a once over, and I will do the same for the lower lash line. And this is also how you can kind of go in and blend your shadow back into your concealer. I'm gonna take a little bit of my bronzer actually and use this to blend the edges of my lower lash line. Just because I don't want it to be too heavy, I just wanna have a slight smoky effect. Perfect. And then one last time with Just a Kiss, I'm gonna focus this more in the inner part. And I also like taking the sparkle on the lower lash line of the inner corner just because I like having sparkle down there. Why not? I feel like it just helps your eye pop and open up a little bit more. If you wanted to add more glitter, you can go in with the Urban Decay glitter liner. That's a really good glitter liner, or like a Stila one. Pro tip with the Stila glitters, if you don't want it to be super intense and opaque, because like that's how it is if you apply with the applicator, just pick some up on a fluffy brush and fluff it onto your lid and it won't be as intense. But I just like this slight sparkle shimmer sheen that we have going on, so I'm gonna leave it at that and move on to bronzer. I have been using this butter bronzer. I think I've had this for like 3 years now, so like it's expired probably. But I just trying to use it up. So I just take, this is like a Sephora like setting powder brush, but I use it for bronzer. And instead of swiping, I like dabbing it, especially if you have dry, finicky skin. If you have issues with your foundation lifting up because your skin is dry, patting instead of swiping will definitely help with that. But I also like the effect and finish that it gives of applying the product, dabbing it on instead of just swiping it on. So I will also do the same thing with my forehead. I use an extra light hand on my forehead because that's where my foundation does tend to break up from dryness the most. And then I take just a wee bit of bronzer and kind of connect it. I've been into doing this lately, but I don't do a lot, so it's not like super noticeable. For contour, this is why I do my hair after my makeup, because things get crazy. This is a Tarte's Pro Glow. Again, I think I've had this for like 3 years, but I pretty much only use this contour shade in here. It is called Sculpt. I don't even know if they make the shade separately. I have to find something new once I run out if they don't. This is technically an e.l.f. Flawless Face Brush. I like this because it is angled up. So I pack the product on the brush and then one side I apply and then I flip and apply on the other side. And then this, with light circular motions, I will blend it into the skin. Kind of takes care of like secondhand blending the bronzer too. I think it's like the way this brush is made, like with the dual fibers, it just kind of helps blend everything nicely. A lot of brushes in my kit are actually e.l.f. or Morphe, so you don't need to have the most expensive brushes in the world to get the job done. I've really been into like super bronzing and contouring my forehead. It's a thing. And of course my chin, because I grew double chin this year, so try to make that look as best as we can. I'm honestly not super into nose contour, but I just kind of put a little bit on just because I have so much on the sides of my face. I want to define my nose just a little bit. This is a Luxie 207 Premium Angled Shading Brush. Take just a little bit, and then again, because I said earlier, foundation picks up on my nose, with the slightest hand, I just so very lightly tap my face, and there is like a hair, and it is itching me so bad. Whew. Okay, so again, I just go in with a slight hand and just lightly tap it, and then once most of the product is off, I kind of like tap and drag. So there's just that slight definition. And then whatever is left, I just kind of move around the bottom of my nose. Because my nose is really bulbous right here, so I don't even try putting any product there, I just kind of leave it alone. Like I said, I'm no nose contouring expert. That's why I kind of want to like work on improving my complexion in the next year. Love how my voice just cracked. And then if anything did rub off, I just re-dab the sponge, put powder, and I have a zit right in the middle of my nose. Perfect timing for Christmas, right? I mean, maybe I can help guide Santa's sleigh with my giant red zit. For me, blush is where I think I need to step my game up. I literally own 2 brushes. Blushes. I did a huge declutter at the beginning of this year, and I literally left myself with 1 blush. This is Tarte in the shade Partay. I think this was like a birthday gift again from like 3 years ago, but I really love the shade. And then I recently picked up this ColourPop Fresh and Peachy from their Peach collection. I love this. But for winter, I'm definitely more of a muted rose blush kind of girl. So if you have any recommendations for blushes in this tone, let me know. I just love this because it's so muted and it just kind of blends right in and adds to that contour of the face. I'm just obsessed with how pretty this looks in person. I don't like a lot or harsh blush. I've been trying to force myself to wear more. because my mama told me that I needed to have a little bit more colors in my cheeks. So I'm trying. If I feel like things have gotten a little bit muddy or blended down too far, I will go back into my powder, go into my sponge. This is why I love the Eco Tools one, because it has a flat edge. And then I will just lightly bake this. A tip, if you're going to be pressing setting spray into your face once you're set and done with everything, make sure you pat out all the powder, because you don't want to have that mess on your face. Because I've done that before, where my face is wet and I have a clump of powder on my sponge, and then you're just like sticking a clump of powder onto your face that you don't want. So it is a new year, so you want to be nice and glowy. This is Mary Luminizer from the Balm. I used to love this, and then other highlighters have come and gone. I love playing around with highlight, and I've re-fallen in love. It is just like such the perfect highlight, and I do like bringing it down to the apples of my cheeks just because I like having the dimension there. It is just perfect for if you're on the paler side. It is definitely that glow, but you can kind of play it down. So if you're someone that just wants a slight glow and you don't like it super intense, you can put just a little bit on and it works. And you don't need to pack it on to get it looking intense. So I'm a fan of that. I can already tell I'm going to be editing and saying like, why are you talking so damn much? And then I'm also going to hit the brow bone just a little bit. Inner corner just a little bit. And because it's the New Year's, I want to glow a little bit brighter. So I'm taking my Ofra Cosmetics and Glazed Donut. I looked up and this came out 2 years ago. I've had this for 2 years. When I first got it, I was literally using it every single day. And I still have this much left. So I think they're $30, which seems a little bit pricey for a highlight, but I had this 2 years because you literally just need the littlest bit and you can see it is intense. So I'm just gonna take whatever is left over on my brush and re-hit these higher points. And then if you want to like mesh everything together, you can just kind of take a dual fiber brush. This is what I use to dust away my setting powder and just blend everything into the skin. I'm gonna let this sit for a couple more minutes while I fill in my brows. I'm gonna use my ABH brow pencil. I'm gonna try going in with the lighter hand. My brows are something I also wanna work on because I do them very heavy-handed. And I think it's because I write very heavy-handed. Like I press down so hard when I'm writing. So I'm trying to do a light featherier brow. So we'll see, I'll be back. I'm not gonna do this on camera. This is probably the softest my brows have looked ever. So I'm gonna finish off with some Fix Plus, and if you already put mascara on like I did, or you don't, like if you have sensitive eyes, because sometimes I think like this is scented, so sometimes it makes my eyes water. So what I like to do is just take my little hand mirror and cover up my eyeball. So that way the rest of my face is getting coated, but my eye area is being protected. And then quickly before it dries, I just like going in and just patting it into place. Again, it gets rid of any of like the, the defamation marks that you get from where it kind of camel spits sometimes. And then also pressing it into the skin, especially with Fix Plus, in my opinion, makes it look a little bit more luminous. And I'm going to finish off with a brow gel, which a lot of people like, but I'm not super impressed with. So let me know your recommendations. I've gotten Benefit's brow gel recommended to me, Anastasia's brow gel recommended to me, and Glossier. This is the milk one because it's what my Sephora had. I don't like Sephora. I feel like the one by me anyways doesn't have a lot of good selection. So this is their Kush Fiber Brow in the shade MJ. It's literally the lightest shade. I wish it was a little bit lighter because I wanted to have a colored brow gel to make my actual hair stand out, because I have to fill so much of my brows in. I just thought it would be a cool look to like have my actual brow hairs like highlighted. I mean, it coats the hairs, but it, like, my eyebrows are very coarse, thick, and they tend to like curl up and then grow in weird directions. So they don't lay down easily, and this doesn't really hold them in place for me. It's okay. I also wish it made my brows like a little fluffier looking. I mean, they do look fluffier for sure, but it's not quite what I was expecting or necessarily like what I was looking for. I'm quickly going to change. I'm gonna fix my hair and we will be back for the lip color. I'm doing 2 lip colors. We'll be back for the lip colors. You guys, I have truly outdone myself. I am so proud that I did this hair. I did this. It looks this good because of me. Anyways, if you would be interested in a tutorial on how I did this, give me a thumbs up, let me know in the comments. I've been kind of wanting to like venture into a little bit more hair. So I'm more about makeup, but I am moving in a few weeks. So I think my setup will be a little bit better for me to do like hair tutorials in my studio. So let your girl know. I am going to give you 2 lip options. One is basic because it's New Year's Eve, right? Or Christmas, whatever the holiday is. What normally happens with holidays? A lot of eating, a lot of drinking, New Year's Eve kissing. So I don't really like to go super all out with my lips anyways. I feel like I've never really been a super big lip person. So my go-to is my NYX Creme Brulee. So I'm gonna put this on last. But I do want to switch it up, you know, not be so predictable and use some other products up. So today we are going in with another Dose color. This is not the color I wanted. This is the color I wanted. This is Sauvage from the Desi and Katie collection. It is a dark vampy lip, so winter, perfect for vampy colors. I normally stray away from dark colors because my lips are uneven and it's not easy to hide when you use stuff like this. Okay, I just did a light liner to kind of get an idea. See, it's so uneven looking. Like, I can't do my lips. Like, this lip is like this, and this one is more like that. Ugh. It frustrates me because it looks fine in person, and then I look on the monitor and I'm like, take a deep breath. Can you hear my dog pushing her bowl around? She's just getting around to eating. It's 3 o'clock. She's been a little bit down in the dumps because my husband's been gone for training for his job for the last month. So we've been very lonely. And I feel like she's depressed because he's gone, and like our cat's been like a little bit depressed too, but he's coming home tonight. Finally, thank goodness. So excited. Okay. This is why I do nude lips. This just applies so perfectly, and now I have to match it. This is what you get. Okay, I'm wiping this off to do a nude lip anyways, but just so you can see. I personally just feel by the time it comes to my lips, because that's literally the last step of my makeup routine, I'm so over sitting here doing my makeup that I don't care. And I normally, when doing my makeup, it's because I'm going out to dinner, I'm going out to a bar, I'm going out somewhere where I'm gonna be drinking something, so I'm like, what's the point? Anyone else feel me? Let me know. Can we take a minute to acknowledge how much I overdrew my lips? Like, this is my natural lip line. And it went all the way up to there. Love that. I feel like I just get to this point at the end of my videos where I'm just like, if you're still here watching, like, good for you. All right, I'm gonna need a little bit more foundation to just kind of like this is not a look. Recover that up. There we go. And just to kind of mesh it a little bit more, I'm gonna start with powder. More practical method, aka the lazy girl method, is with just a clear pinky gloss. This is creme, hello. I think it's like finally almost empty. I've had this for years. Again, probably expired. But this is creme brulee butter gloss. I love this. This is like the perfect, if I could like get this color in lipstick, it would be my perfect lip color, I think. I also love the gloss because it just kind of like blends out the edges, and it's like uneven lips too. Like we don't know because we can't really tell. Alrighty, we have finally reached the conclusion, the ending of this video. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know what you'd like to see more from me in the future. I'm just trying to chill, be myself, like actually take a minute, because I feel like I get so caught up in like trying to educate and like teach that I lose a lot of my personality through that. So I feel like by the time I get to the end of the video, I'm a lot more relaxed, because like the eye part is like the part that I'm most focused on. So I'm also trying to work on in 2020 and just like letting go and just trying to be more myself in these videos. So let me know what you'd like to see from me next. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you had fun, learned something new, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.